You're listening to Independent TV 7. Kindly click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Independent TV 7. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get more notification. Thanks for watching. Yeah, from the report we are getting right now, which are the list of the 4 presidents Nigeria has under democracy, and from Obasanjo to Buhari, these are the list of loans borrowed under Nigeria's 4 presidents. Recently, President Muhammadu Buhari stirred heated reactions from Nigerians when he tabled a fresh request for the approval of another set of loans before the state and the Senate. The Nigerian leader sought approval from the National Assembly to borrow 4 billion naira, which is equivalent to 4.5 billion naira. That is 710 million euro, and a grant of 125 million dollars. Many Nigerians are against the borrowing spree of the current administration, as it seeks to provide more infrastructure amid dwindling revenue. Nigeria's public debt has been on the rise. As of March 2021, Nigeria's total public debt has hit 33.1 trillion naira, which is equivalent to $87.24 billion. An accumulation of borrowings from successive governments. The cable news recently reported that despite securing debt relief during the Olusegun Obasanjo-led administration, successive governments have continued to borrow and on a borrowing spree. The newspaper stated that the federal government's component of the public debt surged, which is 658% to 26.9 trillion naira in the last 21 years. Citing data from the Debt Management Office (DMO), the report stated that federal government borrowings and local and foreign debt climbed up to from 3.55 trillion naira in 1999 to 26.91 trillion naira at the end of March 2021, the country's latest official figure. Since 1999, when Nigeria returned to democracy, Nigeria has had 4 presidents: Olusegun Obasanjo, Umaru Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan, and now Muhammad Buhari. Yes, this report looks at the loans taken under the 4 administrations. Number 1, the ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo external debt, which we are going to calculate in a sum and reduction from $28.04 billion in 1999 to $2.11 billion in 2007. Yes, that is like about 8 years down the line. Obasanjo regime borrowed up to, according to the report we are having now, borrowed up to like $2.11 billion dollar. This is what the report says about Obasanjo's administration borrowing spree, which domestic debt also increased from 798 billion naira to 2.17 trillion naira. The federal government debt reduction from 3.55 trillion in 1999 to 2.42 trillion in 2007. The federal government local and foreign debt level 31.8% reduction, which the exchange rate, which says 98 naira to 116 naira to $1 as at when Obasanjo was in government. Yes, number 2, which is Yar'Adua and Jonathan, administration, because Yar'Adua, only spent 2 years, and Jonathan completed the rest 2 years after Yar'Adua's death. In 2007 to 2011, the foreign debt, increased from $2.11 billion, which was accrued by Obasanjo. So we continue from there. $2.11 billion in 2017. Between that time, 2007 rather. Between that time in 2007 to $3.5 billion in 2011. So those are the debts we are owing
or the federal government is owing, as debt. So $2.11 billion of Obasanjo's administration between 2007 to 2011, they have 3.5 billion dollar equivalently in 2011, and the domestic debt increased from 2.17 trillion in 2007 to 5.62 trillion in 2011. Exchange rate as a then increased from 116.8 to $1 and to 156.7 to $1 as at 2011, which percentage of increase is 155%. Well, we need to note that of the debt figure, Jonathan completed the tenure from May 2010 to May 2011. After the death of Yaradua, during the period, the debt reportedly rose from 4.9 trillion naira to 6.17 trillion naira. That is 24.9% increase in 1 year. So as of 2011, Nigeria is owing about 6.17 trillion naira. Yes, in Jonathan's regime, ex-president Jonathan's start of the administration, like I said, in 2011, we're having 6.17 trillion naira. So Jonathan started. External debt is 3.5 billion dollar. Domestic debt 5.62 trillion naira. Accumulated debt is 6.17 trillion. Yes, in 2014, the foreign debt we are owing is 6.5 billion, 5 billion naira, and domestic debt is 7.9 trillion. Exchange rate as at then also stood at 179 or 197, equivalently $1. It's not up to 200, it's about 190 something, in 2014. And total public debt from 2011 to 2015 is 6.17 trillion naira. Yes, so according to the increase, he said the increase is of 3.63 trillion naira. So compared to Yaradua. Now, President Buhari, in 2015, the external debt, we have a 7.35 billion naira. Domestic debt, 8.84 trillion naira. The foreign exchange rate is 197 as at when Buhari took over from Goodluck. Now in 2023, the external debt between 2014 rather to 2020, as it is, external debt is 28.5 billion dollar. Domestic debt 16.02 trillion naira. Domestic debt increased by 7.6. Yes, in June 2015 to December 2020, external borrowings increased by 21.27 billion as of December 2020. The foreign exchange in 2020 is 381 naira, to dollar. A percentage increase as of 2015 to 2020. According to the report by the cable, the president Buhari is the country's biggest borrower, increasing public debt (FG) and more than 173% difference. The Yaradua Jonathan combined is 155%. Yes, now let's go back to the drawing board as it is. Buhari regime, who says he wants to eradicate corruption, has been the one swimming in that same corruption. The exchange rate now, either black market or the bank market or CBN or the exchange, is a worrying thing and worrying case for Nigeria. Even if black market says 565 or 570, yes, against the 420 that the CBN is claiming, we see that Buhari as a president is the highest borrower and he still keep on borrowing. We say they are APC has borrowed over 12 to 13 trillion naira in less than 6 years, against the PDP 16 years regime that borrowed or having the foreign debt of 3.2 trillion naira. Don't you see that we are doomed? Well, I would like you to share your views over the comment section. Thanks for listening and God bless you as it is.